Der ganze Signalgate-Skandal ist erledigt und abgeschlossen, zumindest hat uns das gerät heute Morgen erzählt. Aber ehrlich, das ist weit von der Wahrheit entfernt. Wir werden diejenigen, die immer sagten, aber ihre E-Mails nicht einfach davonkommen lassen, nachdem sie kaum eine Woche über eine der größten Bedrohungen für die Sicherheit unseres Landes gesprochen haben, die wir je erlebt haben. Wir werden ihre Torheit aufdecken, darauf hinweisen, wie riskant und unvorbereitet sie sind und jeden Einfluss nutzen, um sicherzustellen, dass sie Konsequenzen tragen. Genau das ist passiert, als ein Demokrat diese erschütternde Ankündigung machte. Ein schwerer Schlag für Trump, Hecht, Walz, Tulsi Gabbard, J.D. Vance und die gesamte Bande von Witzfiguren. Wir werden auf all das eingehen, aber könnten Sie zuerst schnell den Like-Button für dieses Video drücken und wenn Sie unseren Kanal mögen, aber noch nicht abonniert haben, tun Sie das bitte. Es hilft uns wirklich und bedeutet mir sehr viel. Bevor wir darüber sprechen, was auf dem Boden des Repräsentantenhauses passiert ist, das Trump ziemlich beunruhigt, brauchen wir einige Hintergrundinformationen zu den neuesten Updates von Rachel Matt.
The Signal group texting about war plans, that scandal is also continuing to blow up, even though they keep trying to pretend either it didn't happen or it's over now. The Wall Street Journal reporting this weekend that this apparently was not the first time that Trump National Security Advisor Michael Waltz had convened a group of Trump cabinet officials in a group chat on this commercial texting app. Quoting from the Wall Street Journal this weekend, quote, 2 U.S. officials also said that Waltz had created and hosted multiple other sensitive national security conversations on Signal with cabinet members, including separate threads on brokering peace between Russia and Ukraine, as well as other military operations. Sources, quote, declined to address if any classified information was posted in those chats. So yeah, this thing isn't going away. Wait till we find out what all the other ones were. And then there's Pete Hegseth, the Fox News weekend host who Donald Trump appointed to lead the Defense Department. In recent days, we have learned that Pete Hegseth not only posted a detailed timeline of a forthcoming military strike to that group chat on Signal, which inadvertently included a reporter, Pete Hegseth also, according to the Wall Street Journal, quote, brought his wife, a former Fox News producer, to 2 meetings with foreign military counterparts where sensitive information was discussed. The meetings included the Ukraine Defense Contact Group at NATO, a closed-door meeting of that group, more than 50 countries represented there, and also a very sensitive meeting with the British Defense Secretary. Pete Hegseth has been bringing his wife to these meetings. Does she have a security clearance? This is the same wife, you may recall, who Mr. Hegseth brought with him to his meetings with U.S. senators ahead of his confirmation process for this job. That, of course, made it socially awkward for those senators to ask him at those meetings about the rape allegations that he had faced in California and his alleged serial infidelity and problems with drinking on the job. He has denied the rape allegations in California, and, of course, he was never charged in conjunction with those allegations. That said, the Associated Press is also now reporting on the strange circumstance that has arisen at the Pentagon in Mr. Hegseth's short time there, in which not only is he bringing his wife to sensitive meetings with foreign military leaders, but he's also somehow got himself into a situation where his baby brother, his younger brother, Phil, has also ended up on the plane to Guantanamo.
Völlige Torheit, totale Unfähigkeit, den Job zu erledigen, keinerlei Besorgnis und einfach Magerdei Unsinn, der diese gesamte Regierung durchzieht. Deshalb werden wir Caroline Leavitt nicht behaupten lassen, dass dieser Fall abgeschlossen sei und sie einfach weitermachen würden. Wir brauchen einen tieferen Einblick in das, was geschehen ist, nicht nur um die Menschen zur Rechenschaft zu ziehen und ihre Position zu verlieren, sondern um sich den rechtlichen Konsequenzen zu stellen, die sie für das Brechen unserer Gesetze verdienen. Und genau das hat eine demokratische Kongressabgeordnete auf dem Boden des Repräsentantenhauses angekündigt, eine Untersuchung, wie Sie in diesem Clip sehen können.
Mr. Speaker, I rise with deep shock, concern, and outrage at the carelessness of the Trump administration in disclosing highly sensitive operational military plans on a commercial chat platform that included a reporter. Without a doubt, this reckless incompetence put our service women and men in danger. Last week, I received a call from a constituent whose son is deployed abroad in the region. His son's mission was personally put at risk by the very same people charged with safeguarding our armed forces who put their lives on the line for us. This Arizona father and his son sacrificed for our country, and we should all be ashamed that this is how their service is repaid. The Trump administration officials who set up and participated in this Signal chat debacle should have taken responsibility for their egregious mistake and instantly offered their resignation for having violated the law, contravened common sense, and put American troops in harm's way. Let me put it this way. Not only did the National Security Advisor set up an illegal, unsecured chat with the Secretary of Defense, the CIA Director, the Vice President, and others to discuss highly sensitive and imminent attack plans, but they also bungled their way into adding a random person into the chat. We should not be surprised in the slightest that the Trump administration treats our nation's secrets this way. This is the same man, after all, who had our nuclear code sitting in his bathroom in Mar-a-Lago. The way that the administration has handled this entire calamity has been equally as dangerous. Secretary of Defense Hegseth straight up lied. He said there was no classified information on the chat, that he didn't share attack plans, that no troops were put in harm's way. And then there's our Director of National Intelligence, who is supposedly our nation's most trusted, meticulous secret keeper, who went before the Senate to mislead, evade, and perjure herself. What a truly disgraceful episode. This is not a partisan issue. In fact, both the chair and ranking member of the Senate Armed Service Committee, in a bipartisan manner, requested that the Pentagon investigate the use of the Signal app to share classified information. We can all agree that no government employee, let alone a cabinet member, should be sharing classified information in a Signal chat and be careless enough to add a reporter to it as well. There should be a serious after-action review to prevent this from ever happening again, and one that considers the criminality involved. And yet another Trump lackey, our Attorney General, who is officially supposed to be the people's lawyer, is ruling out a criminal investigation into the scheme altogether. These are the same people that spent the better part of a decade looking into Hillary's emails. They evidently do not care to even pretend to investigate how our nation's most secret information was being shared. The ramifications of this unmitigated disaster will be felt for years, even decades to come. Why would any of our allies share sensitive information with us if the Secretary of Defense is just going to pop it in a group chat and share it with the editor-in-chief of a national publication? In conjunction with all of the other actions the Trump administration has taken to dismiss or turn our backs on our allies, I am deeply concerned about how Signalgate will make us much less safe in the long term. Our nation deserves better. Our servicewomen and men deserve better. We deserve better. Thank you. I yield back.
Ich gebe zurück. Wir brauchen definitiv mehr Details darüber, was passiert ist. Wir müssen wissen, ob die Sicherheit unserer Nation von möglicherweise den ahnungslosesten Menschen, die jemals in unserer Regierung gearbeitet haben, völlig aufs Spiel gesetzt wurde. Dies ist besonders wichtig, da täglich neue Informationen zu dieser Geschichte herauskommen, wie zum Beispiel, dass Pete Hughes diese Treffen zur nationalen Sicherheit im Grunde wie ein zwangloses Treffen mit Freunden behandelt. Er bringt nicht buchstäblich Bier mit, aber ehrlich gesagt wäre ich nicht schockiert. Er hat seine Frau mitgebracht, sein Bruder ist irgendwie involviert und wir erfahren von anderen Signalchats, die komplett offengelegt wurden. Und wir haben gesehen, wie Jen Psaki all diese Informationen genau hier zusammenfasst.
It turns out all these people who have worked on national security issues for years were onto something. They knew. I mentioned this new reporting earlier, but it bears repeating. I mean, this is from the Wall Street Journal. Quote, 2 U.S. officials said that National Security Advisor Mike Waltz has created and hosted multiple other sensitive national security conversations on Signal with cabinet members, including separate threads on how to broker peace between Russia and Ukraine, as well as military operations. They declined to address if any classified information was posted in those chats. Of course, they declined to address that. I mean, that is one of those things that is shocking a little bit, but also not really surprising. The Wall Street Journal is also reporting that even though Trump has decided not to fire Walz for now, the damage done to his reputation has put him on shaky ground in the White House, and he has lost sway with the president. Go figure. I mean, he's lost sway because he had Jeffrey Goldberg in his phone, though. I think that's the deal. Anyway, I think it's safe to say that this latest reporting about multiple other sensitive national security chats is only going to make that ground a whole lot shakier. That's my bet. Joining me now is Democratic Congressman Jason Crow of Colorado. He's a former Army Ranger who served 3 tours of duty in Iraq and Afghanistan. He's also a member of the House Intelligence Committee. So I just want to start there. I suspect you're one of those people who thought maybe there's going to be other chats out there, because, of course, that wasn't the only one. The one they referenced and that the Wall Street Journal reported on today included conversations about Russia and Ukraine, as well as military operations, which is not specific. But you're a veteran. You've served in Iraq and Afghanistan. How concerned are you about what else could be out there? And what should people understand about the sensitivity of that type of information?
Well, there's no doubt this appears to be part of a larger pattern and practice that's both sloppy and reckless, but also probably violates a number of laws. But, you know, for all the discussion about violation of laws and the violation of process, I think what's most important here is the risk, the ongoing risk that's posed to our servicemen and women right now. In this town, we sit around in D.C. all the time, and we talk about process, we talk about laws, we talk about principals committees, we throw out all these terms. But what is really important is there's some private, there's some sergeant, there's some captain downrange right now where we're having this conversation doing a risky mission. And our adversaries, Russia, China, and others, are trying desperately to get information to harm them. So this recklessness is not without substantial risk to them.
I think this is such an important piece for people to understand, because the risk, say, with the operation in Yemen was that the Houthis could have known in advance. They didn't, but they could have known in advance. The military, members of the military who operationalized that could have been at risk. When it relates to Russia and Ukraine, who knows what that means? But if there were chats about Ukraine military equipment or operations or locations, all of this puts the people who are participating in it at risk. Is there more people should understand about that as somebody who's done these missions?
We don't know. First of all, let's talk about the Houthis. A lot of discussion about that.
Yeah.
Right? I think sometimes people had this impression that, oh, this is a bunch of guys with AK-47s rolling around the back of pickup trucks. No, this is a military force.
Yeah.
This is an army that has some of the most sophisticated air defense systems in the world, so much so that they actually have been shooting down American unmanned aircraft. They shot down an MQ-9 Reaper drone just last year. So the idea that these folks could have had information, and they're aligned with the Russians, we know that, could have had information in advance warning of a very risky strike that our pilots were conducting over enemy territory, is really outrageous to me.
Wir können Mager nicht einfach davonkommen lassen. Wir können sie diesen Skandal nicht umgehen lassen. Wir müssen weiter vorwärts drängen und mehr Informationen sammeln. Nicht nur, weil es ein wichtiges politisches Thema ist, sondern weil es direkt unsere nationale Sicherheit betrifft. Seien wir ehrlich, wir sind alle in Gefahr, wenn wir sie nicht zur Verantwortung ziehen. Deshalb werden wir dieses Thema jeden Tag in unserer Sendung besprechen. Wenn Sie unterstützen möchten, was wir tun, können Sie wie immer den Abonnieren-Button drücken und ein Like für dieses Video hinterlassen. Und wenn Sie bis zum Ende durchgehalten haben, hinterlassen Sie ein blaues Herz in den Kommentaren. Bis zum nächsten Mal. Wir sehen uns.